To another episode of Love and Reality Podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, I'm going to be recapping all of the big happenings of the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives Season 2 reunion. Like, let's be honest, we were very excited to get the ladies back on our screen and even some of the husbands, maybe, but we were hoping that a lot of tea and a lot of drama would unfold. And let's go ahead and be a little bit transparent to start off the podcast here that some of this stuff feels like it could have been an email. You know what I mean? Like, we literally could have got an email with some debriefing of some of the events that unfolded in this. Obviously, we were going to kick off with Demi. Demi wasn't there because her family booked a Disneyland vacation and she couldn't make it to the reunion. Whitney had FaceTimed her ahead of the reunion. She kind of knew that this wasn't going to unfold. I'm going to be completely honest. Demi should have been there. I think Demi being there would have made this probably 1,000 times better. I understand that we're all supposed to dislike Demi, but I still like Demi, and I'm not afraid to to let everybody know about that. Now, of course, we kick off about the rumors about Jesse and Marciano. Marciano and Demi, like what's going on? They talk about Jesse and Michaela saying that Demi was very flirtatious with Marciano, and of course, Jesse came with receipts. She pulled out her phone and we get some interesting text message exchange between Marciano and Demi here. So, um, get excited. Haha, baptized by fire. Is this how you sweet talk all the ladies? Baptized by fire. Oh no. All right. If that's what you want me for. I didn't realize I was sweet talking you. I hate you. LOL. And then we get is this the yeah, this is the follow-up to that. Was it? Is that? Yep. And then it was, and I guess he sent a picture. I guess a picture of some oysters got sent. And she said, and I quote, gonna hurl. And he said, don't be a baby. It's no different than swallowing gum. And I wholeheartedly stand by that. And he goes, ha ha ha, so fun. So, fun fact about Demi, doesn't swallow. Got it. I'm never going to be able to eat oysters again. Not think about that. She said, ha ha ha, ruined it forever. Clamshell, eggplant emoji, and the wet emoji there as well. So, and he responded, I hate you, LOL. Now, obviously, there is some interesting dynamic here because it does insinuate there is a line that was potentially crossed of verbiage. And it is interesting to know whether, we don't hear Demi's full side of it. And we don't know if we particularly know if Brett knew about these text messages beforehand or if he did not. Again, this is why it would have been pivotal and important for them to be at this reunion. Jen not knowing what the clam emoji meant, Zach not understanding what was going on. Just stop. Whitney, who is apparently the only person amongst MomTok that continues to talk to Demi, was kind of shocked per se at the messages. Demi did say she stepped away from the group to protect her peace. The protect her peace made pretty much everybody laugh. She continued to so we get a little bit of a snippet here before we dive into anything else. She basically went on attack with on Taylor. Demi did, and said that all of her friends, all of her family, everybody on social media, Taylor's cult attacks people. She said she feels Taylor doesn't give the others in MomTok credit for the success through that was which was disputed by everybody except for Whitney. Whitney's defense of Demi seemed rooted in her feelings bullied by the other girls, having previously been on outs with them. She also admitted in the reunion that she struggled for her to be there because she doesn't feel like she's part of the group. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not you'll never get me to like Whitney. I don't care what anybody says. Let's see here. What else did we have unfold in this? Again, I feel like a lot of this could have been an email. We get a little bit of an emotional moment where we see Whitney and Michaela hug, sort of. It was almost forced upon by Nick Vile, which we all know there could have been I don't know, 50,000 other people that could have hosted this reunion, myself included, that could have gotten a better conversation out of this entire thing. Um, yeah, in the season 3 trailer, we see, they hug, but in the season 3 trailer, now she wants to start her own version of Mom Talk. Whitney does. So then, of course, we get Jen, who is the topic of conversation. She was pregnant. She said she was suffering from prenatal depression during filming. She described that as the season a bit of a blur, and she was barely surviving and struggling with suicidal ideation. Jen said, "I felt like I couldn't turn to anyone, and I didn't want anyone to feel they were the reason for this. But your body's going through so many changes, and to be honest, I'm grateful for all of the love and support I did receive during the time, because without it, I don't know where I would be today." Obviously, she'll be back for season 3, which isn't much of a surprise. You gonna milk that cow. Um, we we had On the flip side, we had quite emotional moments. Um, in season 1, we saw Whitney and her husband Connor. They were working to repair their marriage after he admitted to having a pornography addiction and using dating apps. Um, the reunion featured unaired footage from season 1, in which Connor revealed that his addiction was due to the part of the sexual assault he experienced as a kid. He said, "This was a very difficult part of my past, something I've worked hard to heal from, and it still hurts. I know so many people carry experiences like that, even if they may not talk about them. For me, those experiences shaped me and developed really destructive habits, but though they don't define who I am today, what matters is how we grow, how we find resilience, and how we support each other moving forward." Whitney was supportive of him. She said, "He's just amazing and perfect in every way. I'm so grateful that both of us have worked so hard to where we are today." Um, More deepness, right? Layla talked about her struggles with depression and anxiety, body dysmorphia, real feeling that she used to self harm. That her kids had saw her self harm scars on her arms, and she had them surgically removed after they noticed it. She said, "I don't want my kids' traumas because I don't want my to give my kids trauma because I'm dealing with it. I need to be strong for them." On the other side, Taylor's not ready to get back with Dakota. It seems like they're still apparently hooking up. Um, you know, there's opening the door of the possibility. Um, I I just wish she'd throw this dude to the curb, honestly. And what pisses me off is like Nick Vile would put his cents in, and it's like nobody asked you, bro. To me, it's like nobody asked you for your opinion. I mean, let's be real at the end of the day. And then, of course, Miranda's back in MomTok, which is apparently a thing now. So that's definitely interesting, something to look out for in season 3, how more of that plays out. And then, of course, we got the big news that Whitney and Jen are joining Dancing with the Stars, which, I mean, okay, it is what it is. Apparently that's something Jen has always wanted to do. Obviously, we get a little bit of a trailer for season 3 of Secret Lives of Mormon Lives, promising drama. The Marciano situation played out, which was what the frustrating thing about it is I don't know what much I can talk about this. Like Jesse was like, I don't know how much I can talk about this. A lot of this stuff's going to play out on season 3. Everybody kept talking about, I can't talk about this, going to play on season 3. Like, why are we continuously talking about things if we can't talk about the things? Like, why do we have a reunion if we can't talk about the things that were about the reunion? But yeah, nonetheless, we're here. We're throwing a party. We saw what we saw. It was an interesting reunion. I don't feel like it necessarily did check all the boxes that I wish it would have checked. But one of the biggest things I do love about this show is the ladies, and even now the men's vulnerability, right? And they even Jesse talked about it early on about how her wanting to be transparent about everything that she's going through to help somebody else. They acknowledge the things in the past that many across the world face. When you can hear people be vulnerable about these things, it opens the door for others to feel that they can do the same thing. You can say whatever you want about these people, but they're sharing these stories are not easy. As a victim myself, there's power in words. There's power in speaking up, power in allowing others to see that the other side, to see the other side. While it might be a long road to recovery, you can get to that moment. But That's the big thing, right? The big thing here is understanding that you can get through it. But if you see other people, even these reality TV stars going through this, watching it unfold, whether it's the sexual assault, whether it's a divorce, whether it's pregnancy, you're watching so many raw and real emotions. And I give so much credit to this entire cast because it feels real. It doesn't feel like reality sometimes when you're watching these. Yeah, we all get caught up in the drama, but the reality of this show and the base of this show is to help others who are going through some of the similar situations. If you ever been through anything like that in your life, just know you're not alone. You got this. Speak up to ones that want to listen and not the ones that want to weaponize. But that is it for me recapping season 2 reunion recap of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. What did you guys think of the reunion? Let me know in the comments below. And I'm looking forward to season 3. I hope it releases ASAP.